Welcome to the PhoneArena video comparison of the HTC EVO 4G and Samsung Epic 4G. These two phones are the first 4G phones to hit the market, both available through Sprint. They are both Android super devices, with the EVO running Android 2.2 and the Epic 2.1, soon upgradable to 2.2. Both of them have custom interfaces on them. HTC uses their Sense, whereas Samsung has utilized TouchWiz 3.0. Both phones have a very large display. The EVO clocks in at 4.3 inches with the TFT. It's only 65,000 colors, so while it looks very good when you're looking at it by itself, comparing it to the Epic, it looks a bit washed out. The Epic, by comparison, is slightly smaller at 4 inches, but uses Samsung's new Super AMOLED technology. It also has 16 million colors, so everything's much more dark, vibrant, and crisp. It's kind of like comparing a plasma TV to an LCD TV. The LCD is very good, but the plasma has much darker black levels, and so everything looks just a little bit better. In terms of size, it's really not much of a difference, despite the screen size difference. The Samsung clocks in a little bit thicker, and this is because it's got a slide-out full QWERTY keyboard. The EVO, meanwhile, is a full touchscreen device. Between the two of them, there's not much of a size difference beyond the thickness, and even that's only a 2mm difference. The EVO, however, with its tapered edges, feels a little bit better in the hand and better in the pocket. When held in portrait mode, however, the Samsung is a little bit narrower and feels slightly more comfortable. In landscape mode, the two devices are very similar. The Samsung is a bit more curved, whereas the EVO has harder lines, but those harder lines are a bit more natural to hold. Really, both devices are very similar, and we're kind of nitpicking here. They both feel very good in terms of construction, but again, the EVO feels slightly better. Despite being smaller, it is a half an ounce heavier, and feels like it's made with more premium materials. That's not so much a knock on Samsung as a praise of LG. The Samsung does use premium materials, such as Gorilla Glass for its display. The slide mechanism is very nice. It offers a good amount of resistance, but once it knows it wants to go, it slips and slides very nicely. We feel like we could do this forever, and there's absolutely no bad feeling to the slider. In terms of the designs of the device, they're very similar. They both have a 3.5mm headset jack, both found on the top, and a micro USB charging and data port. The EVO has the advantage with an HDMI out. However, the Epic is all-share compliant, which means it'll play nicely with DLNA certified devices. Both of them are very good multimedia devices. However, with a better display and a little bit better 3D graphic processing, the Samsung is going to be our choice. It also has slightly better battery life, so that helps as well. There's an official extra battery kit for Samsung sold at Sprint stores for $49.99, which we would really like to see available for the EVO as well. As we mentioned, they both run custom software on top of their Android base. Let's take a look at the EVO first. Neither of these are going to be new. It has their Sense interface, which offers 7 pages. The Leap feature lets you quickly jump from page to page, and of course, everything is customizable. There's a ton of HTC widgets that make the device very nice and give it a uniform look throughout. We really like these, and in terms of what HTC's done to the software, for instance, when you go into the phone, we can use this intelligent dialer to search through all of our contacts. Samsung, on the other hand, uses their TouchWiz interface. This is a little bit more clunky, and we're not a huge fan. It doesn't necessarily detract from the Android experience, but it definitely doesn't add to it. One of the big things you'll notice is the applications are listed in 4x4 grids, as opposed to one long page, like we'll find on the HTC and other devices. You also have the static dock down at the bottom. As we swipe through the 7 possible pages, we'll see that these remain the same. On the other Galaxy S phones, you have an option to change these out. However, you don't with the Epic. This is a little frustrating, as not everybody's going to use the contacts of the phone as much as they use things such as Gmail or messaging. It's also a little annoying because within the phone, we have quick access to our contacts, making having 2 of them there redundant. In terms of what Samsung has done to the basic apps, it's nice, but not nearly as nice. For instance, as we begin to type, it does match things from our contact list. However, you only see one person, and it's not nearly as easy to use. Overall, we wish Samsung would have left it alone and just gone with standard Android 2.1. Hopefully this would mean a quicker upgrade to 2.2 as well. HTC, on the other hand, is a take it or leave it kind of thing. We do like HTC Sense. It offers a lot of functionality. However, it runs a bit slower than stock Android, and again, like Samsung, it means updates may be pushed back a little bit, while HTC makes Sense work with the newest versions. However, 2.2 was released for the EVO less than a month after the device was launched. So if that's indicative of how good upgrades are going to be, it's not too bad. It would be nice, however, to have an option to take these off. Show you a quick comparison of the same file running on both devices. The EVO, of course, up top, and the Epic down below. As you can see, the viewing angle on the Samsung is extremely good. Colors look better as well. The EVO almost looks washed out compared to it. The viewing angle on the EVO is still pretty decent. It's just not nearly as nice as we see with the Super AMOLED display. Again, the EVO is one of the better displays on the market. It's nice and bright, it's easy to see in direct sunlight, at least comparatively, and we don't have any real issues with it. It could display better color depth, as it's only 65,000 colors versus 16 million. However, all in all, it's pretty nice. The Epic is just that good. It's very beautiful, it's very easy to see in direct sunlight, the viewing angles are fantastic, and the colors are very rich and vibrant. This is by far the better media device of the two, if not for anything but the display alone. Both of these phones fared well on the camera tests. The EVO has an 8 megapixel shooter with dual LED flash, and the Galaxy S Epic has a 5 megapixel camera with a single LED. Up at the front, we'll find a 1.3 megapixel camera on the EVO and a VGA cam on the Epic. These can be used for, of course, self-shots, but also video chat through services such as Quick. We're quite excited about the possibility of Skype coming to the market for all devices, especially if it supports video chat over your phone. In terms of picture quality, the Epic actually edged the EVO by a little bit. Details were slightly better, and color reproduction was also a bit better. However, as only 5 megapixels versus 8, pictures were of course a little bit smaller on the Epic versus the EVO. They both record high quality 720p video, and again the Epic came out ahead. The EVO compresses the video slightly, meaning that the quality of the video just isn't on par. In terms of overall experience, it really depends what you're looking for. The Epic comes out ahead on many events. One of the main factors is because of this full QWERTY keyboard. It's large and the keys are spaced well apart. However, it's a little bit slippery and we had some problems typing with speed. The more you get used to it though, the better it is. The Epic also features the high quality swipe keyboard as its default, although if you know what you're doing, you can get that on the EVO as well. We like the feel of the EVO better for sure. Overall, it fits better in our hands than our pocket, and the bigger screen is nice. But the screen's better on the Epic. Battery life is also better on the Epic, and it's a slightly better gaming device thanks to its 6-axis motion sensing capabilities. The EVO ships with an 8 gig memory card, the Epic with a 16 gig. The Epic has a $50 higher price tag, so you are paying a bit of a premium for the more memory, better display, and the physical keyboard. In the end, it depends what you want to do with your device. If the physical keyboard is something that's a deal breaker for you, obviously you're going to go with the Epic. If you're looking to watch movies, the Epic is again your choice. The better battery life also is a very strong argument for the Epic, and it very slightly edged out the EVO in terms of call performance. However, like we said, we like the design and feel of the EVO slightly better, and it does have the bigger screen, so there's a bit more real estate to work with. One of the other things about the EVO is that it pretty much trounced the Epic on performance. We used the quadrant benchmark testing, and the Epic was getting scores around the 950 range, whereas the EVO was scoring in the high 12s and low 1300s, almost on par with the Nexus 1, which is the benchmark device for that test. This performance isn't really felt so much around the device, however. Both of them move very quickly thanks to 1 GHz processors. In the end, you really need to play with both the devices, figure out what you're looking for, and look at the cost difference. You can't go wrong with either of them. These are the future of wireless, and the future is very good.